Hi everyone, it's Bev DeBono, and I have such a fun technique for you. This is called the Noteworthy Page Kit, Simple Page Kit #1, and we are going to be doing some variations. Now, Creative Memories came out with these Simple Page Kits last year, and this year they added a wonderful folder for it, a pocket for them, so you could put your completed pages in them. The page kits are already pre-designed for you, and then there's a cutaway sheet with some stickers and a directions sheet that also shows you what your completed page would look like. So I just wanted to show you the first three for this year. This is page kit #1, and this is page kit #2. So you see the colorations are all with the blues and greens for this year. And this is page kit #3, which is coffee and tea with friends, a really fun kind of a thing. And these all blend with the Noteworthy Days collection that Creative Memories has for their big collection for this particular year. So you see all of them have blues and greens and some of those browns, nice tonal patterns. But what I really want to do is first off, we're going to take a page kit #1 and take it apart and actually assemble it just like it shows us. But then I will show you how you can use those measurements to do a variation of it. So this is the same measurements using the Happy Together pack. Okay, and that was the Valentine's pack that came out this year. Okay, so exact same pages, just in different colorways, and we're just using the measurements that were in your page kit #1. And I'll go through these measurements as we assemble the page kit. So if you don't have the actual page kit 1, you can still make the variation using the measurements that I'll give you. Okay, so let's get started. And we're going to start with the original page kit #1. Okay, so the page kit #1 has two bases, and these are the bases. And you see they're already sort of pre-assembled for us. They're kind of like a fast to fab page. It's got a background, an inner base, and then a strip that goes through the middle. There's a third sheet that is the cutaway sheet that has some pre-designed patterns on it. And we are going to be using the cutting guide on the back to cut and assemble these pages. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to cut this as it is. If you don't have the page kit, no worries. I'm going to be doing it again with Christmas charm. So you do need to decide on an outer base, an inner base, and a medium strip. Okay, so for those three, I am using the dark green, the white, and then the strip for me is going to be the red. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to take our cutaway sheet and we are going to cut the first line where it says the #1. I'm going to put the line on my cut line, and your cut line is the number that corresponds right up here to the title, Creative Memories. Okay, that is a 3/4 inch strip. So if you're looking for a 3/4, or if you're looking for another pattern, it's a 3/4 inch strip. And I'm going to cut another one just on the cut line. Okay, now my next line is the third cut line. And that one happens to be, I believe, a 4.5 or 4.5 by 12. Okay, and I'm going to turn that over. Now, if you see that you've got a little bit of the pattern that didn't cut exactly on the line, that's because I didn't quite line it up on my cutting line. So I'm going to reline it up on my cutting line. And now I'm going to take my multi-purpose tool and nestle the little plastic guides up at the top and the bottom and just slide it along so I can make sure that I'm cutting on the cut line. And then that way I'll have a nice even cut. And if you need to there you go. So it was just a little sliver that I needed to cut off. Okay, and then the next ones are on this cut line here, number 4 and number 5. Those actually measure 4 by 6, and those will become our mats. And then we have these 3. One of them is going to become a title piece, and then the other 2 will become banners. Okay, so I'm just cutting on those cut lines, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, you see how easily these come together. Okay, and again, I was just a little off. Just even that out. Okay, now I'm ready to assemble. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 3/4-inch strips, and they are going to go under the big strip that's in the middle there. The 2 3/4-inch strips. And this is a really great way to use a stripe because you can cut some of the stripe down and it doesn't become so overwhelming when you're using it in like a border piece. And there you go. And now, according to the directions, they want us to put the strip here of the fun fireworks first, right on top of the middle of the striped pattern. So you can definitely do that, or if you want, you could put it above the other pattern. I think I'm going to do that on this one so that both of them pop. So the top and the bottom are both popping now. And there you go. All right, and the rest just gets assembled. We have the big 4.5 by 12 strip is going to go on the right-hand side. And that is where you're going to put some of your photos. You could put some nice 4x4s on there. And that's probably going to go at about 1.5 inches in from the edge, the middle edge there. Okay, and then on this one, we have, these are 2 4x6s. One's going to go near the top. One's going to go near the bottom. So I'm going to, again, put it at the 1.5 inch mark. And then this one also at the 1.5 inch in mark from the edge. Okay, let me just get some of my photo placement mats here. Because I just want you to see that you can certainly add more photos to this than are, than what is showing. These are 3.5 by 3.5. So you can certainly add more to that. You can put another one in the middle, or you can even put a 3.5 by 5.5. So there's a lot that you can do with this. I think it kind of lends itself to a lot more. I'm looking for my 3.5 by 5.5. Here they are. 3.5 by 5.5. And that's perfect for that spot. And in your 4 by 6s, your 3.5 by 5.5 can go here. So this one actually took quite a few photos, and which makes it a lot of fun. So I'm going to finish this up by putting the title piece on the bottom. Now, if you don't want it on the bottom and you want it at the top, and you want to switch this so that you have the other photo there, you can do that as well. So this is entirely up to you how you want to decorate it. Now, the other two pieces that are left are these two little banner pieces. And you see that there's a little dotted line on the bottoms of these two, and we're just going to clip it off. And those will actually make a little overlapping banner. And I might want to just cut those down. I might want to cut this one down just a teens more. There we go. So we're just going to make a little overlapping banner on your upper right. Just by overlapping the two pieces that we just cut. Okay, and now all we have to do is decorate with some stickers. You could put party here. You could put party there. Let me get some foam tape. And we're going to put party on the right-hand side. And then you can actually add whatever of the stickers that you want to add. So on this side, I'm adding party. On the other side, I might add Happy New Year. I might pop that up with a little bit of foam. Add a couple little embellishments. Nice and quick. Oops. Adding a couple embellishments. Before I actually tape it down really well, I want to add the bucket with the champagne is going to go up there. The cute little embellishment from the embellishment pack with the other champagne is going to go. So these are these cute little embellishment packs that you can get from your advisors that complement all of these kits. Okay, so I'm going to balance my champagne, one side, the next side. I might want a little bit of the fun music notes there. And then some little sparkles for some bubbly. Okay, fast page. See how quickly that all comes together and how many pictures you can fit on one page. So now let's recreate this using different papers. So we need a base and an inner base, and then your strip that's going to go across the middle. Oops, so let's get those first. So I'm going to be using Christmas Charm to create the two new pages. So I'm going to be using Christmas Charm, and I'm going to first, my outer base is going to be in the dark green, and then my inner base is going to be, I'm going to use white, but you can use any other color. So because I have 2 sheets of cardstock and it's going to get very thick, I'm going to make a 1-inch hollow frame out of the dark green that I have on my base. Now the 1-inch hollow frame is the easiest one to do. We're just going to put our cardstock all the way to the top and at the 1-inch mark on the right. And we're going to cut a frame out of the inside so that it's not so thick. All right, and I'm going to just place the top of the housing to the top of my paper and then press down and go down till the bottom of the housing comes to the bottom of my paper. If you have 2 binder clips, we can mark these off because we are not cutting all the way through. Okay, so we're going to start the top of the housing meets the top of the paper. We're not starting all the way to the top, and we're going to put a binder clip at the back of the housing unit. So this whole blue section here is called the housing unit. Then we are going to bring the housing unit down to where the front of the housing unit matches the bottom of the paper. And I'm going to put another binder clip on the rails there. Okay. And the actual blade is going to be cutting 1 inch inward because the housing unit is a 2-inch piece. Okay, so let's go. Now we've made a fence here so that our blade can't get out. And let's go ahead and cut a hollow frame. Top of the housing, top of the paper, bottom of the housing, bottom of the paper. Turn to the left. Top of the housing, top of the paper, bottom of the housing, bottom of the paper. Turn to the left. 1-inch mark at the top. Top of the housing, top of the paper, bottom of the housing, bottom of the paper. Turn to the left. Top of the housing, top of the paper, bottom of the housing, bottom of the paper. Okay, and now you have a 1-inch hollow frame. That's for the one side. We're going to go ahead and create the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, top of the housing, top of the paper, bottom of the housing, bottom of the paper, turn to the left, 1-inch mark, and you just repeat it until you have your 2 bases. So the 1-inch hollow frame is really the easiest one to do because there's not a lot of measurements that are involved, and you can then use the trimmer itself as your measurement. Okay, now I'm going to take the 2 binder clips off, and my inner base now is going to get cut down to 11 by 11. All right, so I'm just going to pull my arm out of my trimmer. put my, I'm cutting two at the same time, put them at both at the 11-inch mark, all the way to the top. And now we're just cutting all the way through. All right, and then turn your paper to the left. Again, line it up at the 11-inch mark and cut that all the way through. All right, and now we're going to get the, let's do this first. I'm going to now just put a thin layer of repositionable tape all along the edge of the white paper or your inner base. Okay, we're not putting anything in the middle because there's no paper in the middle to tape it to. Okay, so make sure your outside base is sitting evenly on your 13 by 13 mat. And now your inside base is just going to be, it's going to be evenly distributed at 1/2 inch in on all 4 sides. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing to the other side. We're going to put repositionable tape along the real close to the edge of your inside base. Make sure your outside base is lined up perfectly square on that mat. And now your inside base is just going to be 1/2 inch in on all 4 sides. 1/2 inch in on all 4 sides. Okay, so now we have the outer base and the inner base. But what's fun is that when you turn it over on the back, you have cut away that extra layer of cardstock that was here. So it's not so heavy in your albums. The other reason I like this is because if you are using a top loading sleeve, you can put your photos on one side and then turn it over and actually use this as a decorated piece on the other side. Okay, the next 2 pieces that we want our 3/4 inch stripe. So on the other page, I had a 3/4 inch stripe. So on this one, I'm going to use this really bright pattern because I think that that's going to really pop that stripe, but it by itself is a very busy pattern. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to cut the stripes so that the stripes are going side to side, but then when we put them on our sheet, the stripes will be going up and down. Okay, so we're going to put the stripes side to side, and we're going to cut two strips 3/4 inch by 12. 3/4 inch by 12, 2 times. Isn't that fun? That's a really great way to use up that pattern. 3/4 inch by 12. Okay, and now it just so happens that this paper had 2 sides that I could use both sides of. And now the larger strip that's going to go in the middle is going to be 4 by 12, 4 by 12, and we need 2 of those. Okay, so 4 inches by 12, and we need 2 of those. And this paper is all from Christmas Charm. Okay, let's assemble and get these going. So we're going to put these right in the center of the page. which is how they were placed on the original. And we are going to have them be 4 inches down from the top. Because these are 4 inches, it's going to be evenly distributed in the middle of your page. Okay, so let's put the 2 larger pieces 4 inches down from the top. Make sure your base is lined up on your mat evenly. And 4 inches down from the top. There we go. On both sides. So this is our variation on the page kit number 1. Using the same measurements and creating a whole nother pattern. So you can actually use it as a sketch. Now your 3/4 inch strips are going to go underneath the big base section there. That 4 inch section that you had. And now we're going to cut the mat sections. There we go. Some really nice patterns with that. And you see how well that all works together. Okay, so now I'm going to cut my mats. So I'm actually using a directional paper, and I'm going to use the one that has all of the ornaments on them. And so we need the bigger piece for the right side, and that is 4.5 by 12. We need 1 strip of that. 4.5 by 12. And then we need 2 4x6s. So then you just cut in another 4 inches. Okay, and then turn to the left and cut off at your 6-inch mark. Okay, we're ready to assemble these. So let's put the larger one, the 4.5 by 6.5, on the right-hand side. And that is going to go 1.5 inches in from the middle. 1.5 inches in from the middle. Okay, so you see how nicely those all kind of coordinate together. And then these other 2 are going to go, one is going to go up, one is going to go down, also 1.5 inches in from the edges. Now, if you want, you can also add another mat. You have room, as I showed you on the other one, that you can add many more mats to this and many more photos. So 1.5 inches in from this side. Okay, so to match what we did on the other one, let's create 2 banners that are going to go up here, and then a title cluster down here on the bottom. So to make our banners, and again, I'm just using scraps. We have a 2x4 and a 3x4 strip. A 2x4 and a 2x3. Okay, 2x4 and 2x3. Okay, so I'm just cutting a 2x4. See if that's going to be, that might be a little too long. So I may be making this one a 2x3 3.5. Let's see. That's better. And then this one is going to be a 2 by 3. And then we're just going to create the banner edge. See, they're going to overlap just like that up at the top, just like our banners on the other 2 pages. All right, so to create the banner, you're just going to this is the 2 by 3, turn it to the side, fold it towards you so you have the open edges towards you, and then just take your micro tip and start at the bottom right and just clip in so that you have a nice banner edge. All right, we're going to do that with the other one. This is the 2 by 3.5. Turn it to the side, pinch it towards you so that you have the opening facing you. Okay, and now clip it in. All right, I'm going to just put this down with repo tape so that I can get the edges so that they won't turn up as I put them in my albums. Okay, so I'm just going to overlap it just ever so slightly. All right, and then I'm going to decorate with some titles and some decorations that I've had. I have Yuletide cheer, and I actually have the holly mistletoe. I think that's what that is. And then on the other side, I'm just going to add a tree. So you're making a title cluster down on the other side. Okay, so we're balancing the top right with the bottom left. And I'm putting a tree there, and then the words Merry Christmas overlapping it. And maybe a big yellow star. Okay, so this is your variation. And again, you can add a lot more. Just like we did with this, the party one, you can see where we can do the same thing and add our placements on here. You can actually put another picture down here, another 3.5 by 5.5 if you'd like. And then on the one on the page on the right, oops, you can add 3.5 by 5.5. And you can certainly add another 3.5 by 5.5 up at the top. Okay, so this is the variation for Page Kit 1. Tell me which one you like the best. This is Christmas Charm. We also had Happy Together, which was our Valentine's. So you see the exact same measurements, the banner at the top, the title cluster down on the bottom, and then the original, which is the one from Creative Memories Page Kit 1, which happened to be a New Year one. Whoops, that one's not coming out of my book. And that one, I just happened to move the title cluster up to the top. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed Noteworthy Page Kit number 1 with variations. And I hope you're able to use that sketch over and over. I'm Bev DeBono. My YouTube channel is called Bev DeBono Designs. If you are not currently working with a Creative Memories advisor, please order from my website. All the information is there in the comment section of the YouTube video. And if you're looking to join a Creative Memories team, I do support a team of advisors, and we have a lot of fun sharing our ideas together. Okay, I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.